This is the Motorola ThinkPhone, a new high-end phone inspired by Lenovo's ThinkPad laptops. For ThinkPad fans, this could be a dream come true, but for the rest of us, is it a competitive smartphone worth getting? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our Motorola ThinkPhone review. ThinkPads have been a mainstay in the laptop world since forever. Produced first by IBM and then by Lenovo, they bring a distinctive black, boxy design with red accents. And since Lenovo owns Motorola Mobility, which makes Moto smartphones, it was just a matter of time before we got something like the ThinkPhone. It's a no-nonsense, high-end phone oriented toward the business crowd, with a powerful chipset, extra security features, and a durable ThinkPad-inspired design. The back of the phone is made of aramid fiber, basically Kevlar, with a textured pattern that's unmistakably a ThinkPad one. One interesting accent is the embossed ThinkPhone logo with the red dotted eye. You also get a red accent on the dedicated hardware key, which is used for shortcuts. The aluminum frame is flat, but the phone overall isn't boxy, but curved. It's very durable, even certified to survive drops onto concrete, but is more elegant than your typical rugged phone. Of course, you also get IP68 rated protection against water and dust here, and Gorilla Glass Victus protecting the screen. The ThinkPhone has a 6.6-inch P-OLED display with a 1080p resolution and an extra fast 144Hz refresh rate. You'll find 144Hz in settings, and it makes your swiping and scrolling extra smooth. But if you want to use the automatic switching mode, which dials down based on activity to save energy, the refresh rate will max out at 120. The ThinkPhone's display is plenty sharp and quite contrasty, and it supports 10-bit color and HDR10+. The color accuracy is also very good here. The brightness is also flagship grade. We measured a maximum of around 510 nits with the manual brightness slider, and this boosts up to 1070 nits in auto mode when out in the sun. For audio, there is a pair of stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos support. The loudness is excellent, and the sound quality is good, with nice vocals and some bass. The ThinkPhone has an optical under-display fingerprint reader for biometrics, and it works quite well. And you can get the phone with 128, 256, or 512 gigs of storage. That isn't expandable through microSD though. Let's talk a little more about the ThinkPhone's hardware button. A single click can launch an app, play and pause music, or open the voice or screen recorder. The double click is always linked to actions within Moto's Ready For app. Overall, it's pretty handy, but because of its location, it's not really usable with one hand. Another thing you'll find on the ThinkPhone are extra layers of security in the background through solutions like ThinkShield, Moto Threat Defense, and Moto KeySafe. There are also specific features related to remote fleet management that's useful for companies that might issue these to their employees. And Moto's Ready For, which connects their phones to other devices like screens and PCs, has been further specialized for integration with ThinkPad laptops. The feature is called Think to Think. Besides that, the software experience of the ThinkPhone is pretty much what you'd get on other Motorola phones. It's a very clean and near-stock Android 13, with a few Moto features on top. These are organized within the Moto app, and include things like personalization options, gestures, and the peak display function. Powering all of these features is a flagship-grade Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chipset, which was last year's top Qualcomm silicon. It doesn't provide the benefits you'll find in this year's new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, like advanced memory tech, and in benchmarks, the ThinkPhone falls behind other new flagships. Still, you get plenty of power under the hood, more than enough for smooth multitasking and heavy gaming. And when it comes to thermal management, the ThinkPhone does a decent job, throttling slowly and maintaining stable performance during our stress tests. The ThinkPhone has a large 5000 mAh battery, and battery life is quite good, with the phone earning an endurance rating of 116 hours in our tests. And with the bundled 68-watt charger, the charging speed is quite speedy. We were able to charge the ThinkPhone from 0 to 86% in half an hour. Now on to the cameras. On the back, there's a 50-megapixel main cam, a 13-megapixel ultra-wide, which has autofocus, and a depth sensor. During the day, photos from the main cam have a good amount of detail, nice-looking true-to-life colors, and plenty of contrast. The finer details are a bit soft when looked at too closely though. Also, some textures and foliage look quite artificial. There is some visible noise, and the dynamic range could be wider. Portraits are always taken with the main cam, but you have the choice of 3 different zoom levels. They look good in general, with nice subject separation and good-looking background blur. Skin textures can come out a bit too smooth though. The ultra-wide cam's photos are very decent, with a good amount of detail and pretty wide dynamic range. The colors look nice, even though they don't really match those from the main cam. Since the ultra-wide has autofocus, you can use it to take macro close-ups. The focus here isn't able to get that close to the subjects, but the quality is nice, with plenty of detail and good-looking colors. In low light, the main cam's performance isn't great. There is an automatic night mode that can kick in, but it often doesn't, and the results without it are blurry, soft, and dark. Detail is lost in the dark shadows, and light sources are blown out as well. If the night mode does kick in, or you toggle it on, you get a much cleaner and sharper image, with better handled light sources. The sharpening is a bit excessive though, and the photos are still on the soft side. The ultra-wide cam uses night mode processing a lot more often than the main cam, and the shots look decent. You get vibrant colors, well-handled light sources, and some detail in the shadows. For selfies, the ThinkPhone has a 32-megapixel front-facing camera, and despite some conflicting information we found online, it does not have autofocus. The selfie quality is good, with plenty of detail, nice-looking textures, and true-to-life colors. Now on to videos, and we'll start off with the main camera, which can capture an up to 8K resolution at 30 FPS. These clips don't look very good, with soft detail and muted colors. 4K videos from the main camera are preferable, at least in terms of detail. The rest of the quality is basically identical. At least you don't have to deal with the 8K's huge file size. The ultra-wide cam can also record in 4K, and it does a nice job. There's plenty of detail for this sort of camera, good contrast and colors, and wide dynamic range. There is electronic stabilization available across all three cameras, and it does a great job in smoothing things out. In low light conditions, 4K videos from the main cam aren't flagship grade. They're on the dark side, and exhibit focus hunting. At least light sources are handled decently well, and the colors are lively. So that's the Motorola ThinkPhone. It's a high-end device that's pretty particular in what it does. The clean software and business-oriented features mean that it's tailored more toward a corporate audience, but at least the ThinkPad aesthetic and durability might attract fans of the brand. The thing is, the ThinkPhone brings a premium smartphone experience, except for the main camera, which feels like more of an afterthought. And for a flagship price, even with the durability factored in, it's hard to recommend the ThinkPhone to your average consumer. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're looking for alternatives in the same ballpark as the ThinkPhone, one option could be the Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus, or you could check out the OnePlus 11. Let us know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next one.